We're going.
Okay, so there's a lot of approaches to jazz comping. This is just one of many approaches. It's conceptually a very holistic and simple approach, but you can get a lot of mileage out of it, and I feel like it's a more intuitive way that's going to prepare you for when you're actually playing with a band and need to interact in real time with people and not just regurgitate licks that you learned out of a book or by listening to records. And essentially it's this: take a really, really simple melodic idea and rhythmically transform it and orchestrate it between your kick drum and your snare drum while you're keeping time with the ride cymbal and the hi-hat. So let's break down this process. This is the way you might approach it step by step. Take a really simple tune. Today we used Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, right? And just start with the basic melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. All quarter notes, very generic. So the first thing we're going to do is syncopate the melody. And there's so many options. If I start with just the first subphrase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's 7 quarter notes in the span of 2 measures of 4/4 time. I can choose which of those become offbeat eighth notes and which don't. So I think the first example we used today was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and. So the only syncopation or offbeat was the 7th note in that phrase, or the and. Right? But I could also play with our variations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and. Right? Actually singing the melody and working on the scansion, the alignment of the syllables with the rhythm, is a really good coordination exercise too. Once you feel good about that, add the hi-hat on 2 and 4. Don't even worry about the ride cymbal yet. So we're going to start with that first example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and. Sing the rhythm so you have a concept of where it falls in 4/4 time, but then actually sing the melody to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or just say the syllables. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Now that feels pretty good in terms of the scansion, but intentionally upset that. This is something to think about as a drummer, because we're always coordinating things and thinking about how we can create rhythmic tension and release. So, twinkle, twinkle, little star. That sounds pretty weird, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. But if you can do that, that's going to give you another level of rhythmic coordination, especially if you're vocalizing and singing with the exact phrasing of those lyrics. So, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Now we feel good about that, add the ride cymbal. Don't worry about the skip note, 1, 2, skip. Don't worry about that skip note, just do basic quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get this going as an ostinato, right hand playing quarter notes in the ride cymbal, left foot playing on the hi-hat. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right? Okay, now we're ready to add that skip note. 1, 2, skip, 3, 4, skip. Hi-hat. Sing along. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Then do the weird scansion where you're doing the offbeats with the twinkle and say it. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right? So just that subphrase, you could play with just those 7 notes and those 2 measures for like a whole day and come up with all kinds of variations. So that's a rhythmic aspect. The next aspect you can play with work and comping is incorporating your right foot. Right? So you could start with just the right foot. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Or you could go back and forth between the left hand and the right foot. So drop out the ride cymbal again and go back to just these 3 limbs, no right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and. So all I'm doing is I'm going back and forth between these 2 instruments, the snare drum with my left hand, kick drum with my right foot, and I'm essentially saying, okay, cool. Whatever I just played, I have to play the other drum, alternating. Do the inverse. Kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick. The original. Snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. Add in the hi-hat. We'll start with the snare kick variation. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Switch it. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Add in the ride cymbal, quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Add in, do the inverse. Kick drum first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Now we're going to that skip note. 1, 2, skip 3, 4, skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and add. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Switch. Bass kick, ha. Sorry. I want to play with the whole phrase, I can go ahead and do different things. So I might do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Right? And you can play with that all day long to go with different variations. And then eventually what happens is rather than just I have these 2 or 3 licks I know, you start to just naturally get into a flow state where you're playing and you're keeping time on the ride cymbal and the hi-hat, but really flowing between these 2 limbs very freely.